Hello, this is Tian. Welcome to another video. Today we are doing another short story based on the second book of the Clockwork Chronicles, The Unforeseen Danger. We've already read first one, which was based off of what Lizzie's little backstory kind of thing. If you haven't read that, be sure to do so. It's good. Don't want to miss it. Yeah, it was a pretty sad one though. This one is basically telling what happened about with Eddie's perspective and she got abducted. That first time. I say that first time, even though you guys haven't seen the other times. Are there other times? Maybe. We will never know. She's just a very interesting character, and we're just gonna dive right in. We're gonna dive right in. That's a little too big. There we go. Watched. During the events of the second book, far away from any sort of civilization, in a world that was mostly unknown, was a small town sitting cozily in the middle of a tall spruce wood forest. It was a calm and peaceful place. There didn't seem to be any threats that were targeting the town. It was also a very different town than most people would have believed. It was run completely by YouTubers, friends living together and enjoying themselves on this calm day. One of the residents of this small town, could be found sitting in front of a campfire, quietly preparing for the bonfire that would happen later that night. She had gathered the branches and kindling they would need, hoping that she wouldn't have to go back to get more. Then again, she wouldn't be surprised if they did need more. It was something she could handle. After all, the bonfires were always nice. She looked up at the dark blue afternoon sky, noting that everyone would probably be back for the bonfire by the last ray of sunlight. That would only leave her a few more hours to prepare. She got to her feet, brushing off the dust off her lavender-colored fur. She was a bush baby with big, expressive brown eyes. She was smaller than most of her friends, but that was to be expected. She made up for the lack of height with personality. But as she got to her feet, she had an uneasy feeling. It felt like something or someone was watching her. She couldn't tell where it was coming from or why, but it hadn't been the first she had felt that someone was eyeing her, watching her every movement. At first, she wondered if one of her friends was trying to play a prank on her. Now, she wasn't so sure. It had been happening for a few days now, and it made her uncomfortable. What if this wasn't just her imagination? What if there was someone spying on her? What would they want with her anyway? "Good afternoon, Nettie," a voice said from behind her, as she jumped, turning around to see a tall man with bright, almost white, blonde hair and bright blue eyes. His smile was soft and warm, and slightly apologetic. "Martin, don't scare me like that," she said with a smile, her surprise quickly fading. "I thought you heard me approach," Martin said with a shrug. "I was a little preoccupied," she said simply. "Is there any way I can be of help?" Martin asked. "I'm just about finished," she replied, "though the food will have to come out shortly before the bonfire." "You've done great so far," the YouTuber said with encouragement. Why don't we take a short hike? Why don't we take a shortcut? The shortcut. Why don't we take a short hike? Just you and me. "You sure it's okay?" she asked with uncertainty. "I'm sure," Martin said with a sincere smile. "You deserve to have a break." "Yeah, I suppose you're right," she replied, giving into Martin's offer. He was right. She'd been keeping herself busy for the past few days. But there had been a reason for that. Something she wasn't confident of bringing up just yet. What would her friends think if they knew that someone could be watching her Do you ever believe her? She didn't know. She was sure of one thing. Something wasn't right about any of this. What it was exactly was yet to be known. Excuse me. The hours passed by quickly as the sun finally disappeared over the horizon. The bonfire was now underway, and Nettie was surrounded by friends, talking, laughing, and simply having fun. It was one of her favorite things, just being with friends, not even thinking about the concerns she had periodically through the past few days. But as hours passed, the campfire was starting to die, she offered to get more wood. She had declined Martin's offer to go with her, knowing it wouldn't take very long to gather mere bundles of wood. She heard the loud chatter of her friends fade away as she slipped into the forest, ignoring the unease that was surfacing within her. She'd done this kind of thing countless times before. Why would this be any different? But as she continued through the forest, gathering up the dry fallen branches, she began feeling uneasy again, but wasn't sure why. The forest was dark and empty. There wasn't any sign that something was watching her. She was alone. Suddenly, she heard a twig snap from behind her. She froze, trying to decide if it was just Martin following her, a wild animal, or her imagination. "Hello? Who's there?" she called nervously, looking over her shoulder, hoping to see a familiar face. But there was complete and absolute silence. The darkness didn't seem to help. "Martin? Jimmy? Is that you?" she called, wanting to hear something, anything that would cause the anxious thoughts in her mind. That would ease the anxious thoughts in her mind. Should she drop everything and run? Should she call for help? Sure, she wasn't in danger, but she was scared. This was not normal. None of this was. "There's no need to worry about your friends, Bush Baby," a voice said in the darkness, making her jump as she heard footsteps approaching her. She turned to see a tall figure stepped out of the darkness. He wore a black uniform with blue stripes on the armpits. His dark eyes gleamed with intrigue as he laid eyes on her. "Who are you? Why are you following me?" she asked, slightly relieved to see someone, but whether or not she could trust this person was an entirely different story. "What makes you say I'm following you?" the man asked with a chuckle. "Then why are you here?" she demanded. "To fetch you, of course," the man said with a sneer. "My men and I have been keeping an eye on you, and I believe you might be of some use to us." "Me? Why me?" she asked, taking a step back before realizing that something was missing from the man's statement. "Where are your men? Distracting your friends from what's really going on, obviously," the man said with a cold smile. Nettie's eyes widened in realization hit her. Her friends were in danger, and this man had everything to do with it. People could get hurt all because she didn't say anything. Was there a point to get away? This man seemed to have won already, right? No, he hadn't won. Not yet, anyway. He hadn't captured her yet. He hadn't taken her from her home. She still had a chance to escape, a chance to be free of this man. "I know what you're thinking, little Bush Baby. But I assure you, there's nowhere in this world where you can hide that I can't find you," the man chuckled as he lunged towards her. The Bush Baby screamed as she tried to dodge the man, but he grabbed her and pinned her to himself as she struggled, crying out for help before the man put a hand over her mouth. She could feel him dragging her backwards, away from her friends, who had no idea what was going on, away from her home and everyone she knew. There was no telling what might happen to her, no telling what these men ever wanted with her. "If I were you, I'd cooperate, Bush Baby, or more people could get hurt," the man said with a chill tone as she felt him pull her away, unable to fight back, no matter how hard she tried. This man was strong, and he wasn't planning on letting her go. She had no choice but to go with him, to face whatever fate these men had in store for her. She hated it, but what other choice did she have? Well, that does it for that story. I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, this is definitely an interesting one, and I'll see you guys in the next